As we all know, there are medicinal herbs used for calming the nerves and aiding sleep in Wuthering Waves. However, at the end of Cantarella's companion mission, she feeds us another thing, Albizia. After drinking it, the rover stands at attention immediately. If you move the controller, you can even see the rover struggling left and right, apparently trying to break free from Cantarella's control. So, Cantarella, what exactly did you drug me with? I looked up the symbolism of Albizia and found it represents conjugal love and heart-to-heart connection. No wonder, ever since entering Cantarella's room, I keep getting alerts like trial character joins and leaves the party, causing constant character switches. Is that a petite potato from the Montelli getting jealous? At this point, falling into her world might as well be marrying into her family. Cantarella's companion mission is packed with meticulous details and Easter eggs, as always. For example, the painting we see during the Night of Remembrance mimics the art style of Coco, the Oscar-winning animated film inspired by Mexico's Day of the Dead, exactly the cultural prototype of this mission. Even the NPCs' masks on the street ditch the usual carnival designs for classic Day of the Dead skull motifs. By the way, the movie's ending also hints at the mission's story direction, which I'll explain later. In addition, there are 4 bottles and jars neatly arranged in the plot. If you destroy them, you can get a hidden treasure chest. If you haven't collected it yet, remember to do so. Then there is the transparent curtain with a very smooth collision effect. I could play with those all day. At the story's end, Cantarella sings a lullaby for the wanderer. None other than Schubert's Cradle Song, the masterpiece of the King of Art songs. Later, during the tea time scene, we unlock the hidden achievement, "This peaceful every day is the miracle you created," a nod to the classic anime Nichijou. What's even more outrageous is this book titled "The Overbearing Prime Minister Falls in Love with Me" beside it. It's a book that first appeared in version 1.0, hailing from Huang Long, and is affectionately nicknamed Huang's Book. After interacting with it, you'll unlock a hidden achievement called Cultural Differences. I can't help but wonder, maybe due to cultural differences? But Cantarella's way of speaking always feels like they're playfully teasing our dear rover. When you ask for her contact info, she replies,
下次要挑气氛更好的时候做这件事呀。
When asked about your reward, she says,
我想，我们不用分什么彼此。
Even bystanders comment on your compatibility.
依我看，那优雅的做派比起娇滴滴的贵族小姐，可更有些成熟的风韵呢。
Wait, who are you calling a noble missus? Even when heading into the dangerous deep sea together, her words sound like love vows.
入海之后，我会时刻伴随你左右，跟得紧紧的。我可舍不得让别的毒物纠缠你，你是我看中的。
I think this is the first time the rover has ever looked flustered. Despite her smooth talker demeanor, every word is sincere. Cantarella often wears a smile, hiding her true emotions, until she gains the rover's trust, revealing a fleeting, vulnerable expression.
我所认识的你，也绝不会无端做出此等残忍之事。你从不以他人的不幸取乐。
This reminds me of when Rover brings Imperator's message to Cantarella. Her slightly trembling eyebrows betray her inner turmoil.
请说吧，我已经做好了准备。
从今以后，你们自由了。
我记住了。
Obviously, beneath these subtle expressions lies profound suffering. Recall the painting mentioned earlier, described by a passerby as, "That radiant smile on the paper hides a trace of sadness." That sadness seems to mirror Cantarella herself. While others had playful childhoods, Cantarella's past was the brutal, blessed maiden trial. A poem in the story bluntly depicts the girl's tragic fate. 12 jellyfish drifted in the sea, but one by one they met strange deaths. It didn't matter how many were left, because they were all get swallowed up. This poem is inspired by Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, with lyrics echoing the novel's dark nursery rhyme, 10 Little Soldiers. Cantarella and her sister's suffering mirrors this merciless narrative. Interactive elements in the scene change with the story. The first time you examine the red apple, it says, "Its red is dazzlingly harsh." The second time it becomes, "Its red is more sinister." This hints at the trial's escalating cruelty. Unlike those in the overworld, the Cloud Sea fairies in the companion mission only cry, not laugh. They're born from the lingering regrets of deceased girls. The most haunting symbol is the round hat. The rover deduces,
迷面原礼帽中，少女准备戴在头上的，是有毒的归红水母。
and the young girl who wears the jelly rose on her head is none other than Cantarella from that year. A coin obtained at the start shows red hats symbolize obedience to the gods, blue hats defiance. At first, the girls accepted their fate, becoming firewood for the trial, surrounded by menacing red hats. Many lost their lives. When Cantarella witnessed this, she vowed to save her sisters. Her tears over a candle flame transformed into a defiant blue hat, like a light piercing the darkness. To fake the girls' deaths using her illusion ability, she wore the red hat and created a hallucination, Annis, the mysterious girl on the trial list. This crazy plan actually had early hints in the plot, but most likely you didn't choose this option.
他和贺贝农在那场试炼中双双消失，没人知道他们的下落。我想，大概有人用障眼法，把他俩从家主的眼皮子底下变走了。
In order to deceive everyone and even the gods, Cantarella wore the red hat on her head. She used illusions to create an angelic girl. This girl is none other than Annis, the mysterious girl with an enigmatic background whom we saw on the trial list. NPC dialogue in a side quest reveals Annis isn't a real being in the flesh. She manifests as a young girl, a flower, or a bird, and she can also be a jellyfish in the deep sea. She is an illusion that people generate in order to split the great pressure and psychological trauma they have suffered. Annis, in essence, is a red hat alter ego of Cantarella, as she tells the rover in the Ghost Girl story.
纯白的少女被幽暗的海水吞噬，恐惧把她撕扯成两半，一半灵魂飘然于岸上，一半空壳静默于海底。
Cantarella. This name itself is taken from a kind of poison in real history. However, despite being named after a poison, she has an angelic heart. When you open the notebooks written by the girls, you'll find that each girl has made her own wish. The witch princess, that is Cantarella, just said coldly that she had no wishes. Here, she didn't tell the truth, but her true desire is voiced by Annis. She said, I hope everyone's wishes come true. She never seems to think about herself. Even in a side quest, when you accompany her to Perseus Lake and witness the sky full of shooting stars, the wish Cantarella makes is still that the girls can live a free life. But do you know, this wish was originally meant for herself. Just as the sisters recalled,
你和我小声说过，想离这里远远的，到没人知道的地方去，隐姓埋名，自由自在的生活。
what a wonderful aspiration it is to live a life of freedom. However, in the face of a greater cause, she calmly said,
以我一人的自由换取那么多人的自由，是一件很划算的事情哦。
Cantarella might be the person whose ideology is closest to that of the rover. She once said,
毕竟，人类不是新柴。
However, she has always regarded herself as firewood. During the trials, when faced with the poisonous substances handed over by her sisters, Cantarella always took the poison without hesitation.
如果我不喝，那无处不在的深渊会将我们一同吞噬。
And in order to protect the people around her, she poisoned and killed the previous head of the family whose spirit had already been corrupted. She also took the initiative to bear the infamy that Phasalia had accumulated over hundreds of years. Regarding these heavy consequences, she just calmly said,
名声本就是浪花上的浮沫，以我而言并不重要。
Beneath her calm exterior lies an unyielding soul. Her archive story reveals her torment. Under prolonged mental erosion, she split into multiple personalities, including Annis. There was a moment when she also thought of ending it all. She even considered using drugs to make the entire Ragunna fall into an illusionary dream from which they could never wake up. The different personalities in her mind were like an angel and a devil. They carried out a vote that lasted for decades regarding this crazy decision. Among the four personalities, one voted for falling into the dream, one voted for remaining awake, and one abstained. There was still the last vote left, and that personality couldn't make up its mind. Perhaps you still remember that Annis was poisoned to the point of losing her voice in the plot. This exactly corresponds to the lack of sound from the Red Hat music box at the beginning of the story. Cantarella once shared that she adored such toys in childhood. Now, the silent music box and Annis's muteness symbolize the lost rhythm of Cantarella's true self, a poignant sign of her inner dissonance. And in the final act of the performance, the change in the task guidance on the left side is precisely a pursuit named redemption. It starts from running towards her, then to running towards her without hesitation. Your trust knocks on the tightly closed heart door of the jellyfish. And finally, she opens her soft arms to you.
我所认识的坎特雷拉很坚强，就算嘈杂的地狱将他淹没，也无法动摇他的心。同样，也无法动摇我的心。
At that moment, Cantarella decided to cast the final vote for half asleep, half awake, because
虚假的幻术也可以促成美妙的真实。
just like Annis, she is fake, yet also real. Her angelic heart has once healed countless people. It's the same with the Night of Remembrance. It is fake, but at the same time, it is real. Its holding is precisely aimed at enabling those lost souls to return to their hometown.
幸亏有坎特雷拉姐姐为我们举办回会宴，每年的今晚，我们都能戴上面具，悄悄溜回家乡小镇看眼亲人。
Just like the passing away of the girls, it is both false and true. People always say that death is not the end, but oblivion is. However, in this world, there are always those who hold you dear in their hearts and remember you.
毕竟，只有今晚，我们才能悼念他们。
Do you still remember the Coco mentioned earlier in the video? In the story, the two protagonists were originally separated from their families by life and death. However, the power of family affection and love enabled them to be reunited in the end and achieve a happy ending. And those girls who were originally judged to be dead or missing in Cantarella's illusions finally saw the light of day again. In the vast open world, we can witness Chloe, the farm girl, reuniting with her sister. Those two familiar figures are precisely the eldest and second daughters of Phasaelus who participated in the trials back then. They have changed their names and, with new identities, are now leading a free and unrestrained life on the island. And in the main storyline of version 2.2, what Cartithia once said, as long as the obsession lingers, one won't fade away naturally, is also reflected in Annis. Watching her sisters return to their hometown, she finally fulfilled her long-cherished wish and her soul ascended to the heavens. The world grows peaceful because of you and Cantarella, as she says.
你击败了颠倒塔中的名士，拯救了黎纳西塔的人们，拯救了少女们，也拯救了我。
For the first time, she looks truly relieved. NPCs now note she leaves her study often, wearing a new smile. They said that the Lord, who used to lead a secluded life, often leaves the study now. Moreover, a gentle smile that is different from the past has started to light up her face. After getting rid of Threnodian's whispers, Phasaelus no longer needs to provide the Albizia Flowers elixir, because the shadow of the nightmare has already dissipated. Even you will find that the secret chamber which once sealed the real Sentinel statue is now openly wide open. Perhaps now you understand why she would say this sentence.
如此宁静祥和的日常，便是你创造的奇迹。
And this achievement is precisely the best interpretation of this happy ending. After completing the task, the achievements. This side of the dream and beyond the dream further imply that Cantarella has finally achieved her long-cherished goal and reached the other shore of her ideals. Remember, and then there were none? Agatha Christie herself appears as an Easter egg in Regana. When having a conversation with Agatha, her lines imply that you will dance hand in hand with three partners. One is the opal, that is, Carlotta, and the fluorite corresponds to Rocia. Then, who is this unpolished white jade in the rough? Presumably, it is Cantarella whose heart is as pure and flawless as can be. The so-called unpolished exactly echoes her words.
是毒还是药，取决于你的用法。
Many people have speculated that the Threnodian in different regions respectively corresponds to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in the book of Revelation. Among them, Leviathan represents the plague. If there is anything that can cure the plague, then I think this poison named Cantarella is no longer a poison at this moment, but rather a medicine. Regarding this, I wonder if everyone still remembers this line spoken by Fleur-Delis.
反抗的浪潮不会停息，文明绝不会困死在盟誓塑造的铁屋中。
The Iron House here is actually an allusion to Lu Xun's debate on the Iron House. The so-called being trapped in the Iron House refers to the enslavement and numbness of the spirit. Breaking open the Iron House means breaking free from the shackles and achieving the liberation of the mind. The Iron House of Threnodian has imprisoned the Imperator, imprisoned Fleur-Delis, and imprisoned almost every person in Rinascita. However, there is a girl named Cantarella. She managed to grasp the light from the cracks and use the blue hat to dispel the darkness. Coincidentally, in the original text of Debate on the Iron House, there is such a viewpoint. However, since several people have already risen up, you can't say that there is absolutely no hope of destroying this Iron House. I think Cantarella is exactly that spark which is enough to start a prairie fire. To put it in the way of saying that one, in the body of an ordinary person, can rival a god, you truly deserve the title of the Blessed Maiden. Finally, I'm really grateful to you for reading this far. Cantarella is one of the most brilliantly portrayed characters in Wuthering Waves as far as I'm concerned up to now. Though her companion mission may be overshadowed by the main story, I still want to share with you the legends about her. Cantarella deserves more love. Thanks for watching. I'm Blurred, a new content creator. See you next time.